I'm not gonna lie, I already filmed this video. I filmed this video, everything blurred. Every single thing blurred. I was walking down beautiful beach, having a great time. Now I've got the birds in the background. Well, welcome to Fiji, mate. This is how it is. In today's video, we are going to be talking about 10 of the craziest facts about Fiji that you may not know. A lot of Fijians will obviously be very well aware of what I'm about to speak about in this video, but this is mainly for people who haven't been here before, know not much about Fiji and want to learn, because it's an amazing country that you should want to learn about. And you want to learn one thing: mosquitoes. Get out of my face. Number one, about 40% of the Fiji population, which is about roughly 1 million or so, is of Indian descent. Yes, there is a large Fiji Indian community here that encompasses nearly half of the entire population, which is a crazy number. Basically, Fiji was colonized, as you can see in the flag, by the British between the years of 1874 and 1970. And throughout these years, there was actually a free passage for Indians from India to come across here to Fiji for work, whether it be sugarcane plantations, all that jazz. There's a whole story behind it. But throughout those years, there was about 600,000 Indians who were allowed to come over to this country and work and be given free passage. Now, as a lot of people will know, Fiji is now not a part of Britain. Even though it's still on the flag, they're not a part of Britain. But it's crazy to think about the sheer size of the amount of Indians that came across here to Fiji. And this was in the late 1800s, early 1900s, right? So they're able to develop a foundation through that. Now, the 3 official languages of Fiji are Fijian, are English, and are Fijian Hindi, which is a variation of Hindi. So with languages, there's always variations. You look at American English to British English. That is English, but a variation. And it's the same with Fijian Hindi, where Hindi in India there's a lot of variations. There's a standard form, and it's similar to Fijian as well. There's like over 300 dialects, right? But in India, whether you're in the north and like Delhi and up north, or you've got the west and Jaisalmer, or you're out in the east or south down Mumbai and whatnot, or Goa, these kind of places all have the standard Hindi, but there's always going to be variations. And you could argue that Fiji is just that, but elsewhere, right? So it's not the pure, and I don't speak Hindi, right? So I don't even know if it is still predominantly the standard Hindi, but at the end of the day, there is a standard version and the variations, and Fijian Hindi is actually a part of the 3 official languages of Fiji. Number 2, you can actually be in 2 completely different time zones in Fiji. Completely different. You can be in today, tomorrow, yesterday, today. You can be everywhere, mate. If you just get your feet moving, son. You just get your feet moving around, son. I'm dancing right now. I'm dancing here on the grass. I hope no one's watching me from out there in the mangroves. But you can. I'm not even joking. You can be in 2 completely different time zones, yesterday and today, in Taveuni, which is another island away from Viti Levu. Everyone focuses on Viti Levu because it's the main land of Fiji, right? You've got Nandi, you've got Suva, Otoka, all of these places that you know about. Mamanuthas, well, Mamanuthas aren't, but all these places are in Viti Levu. And Taveuni is an island, a massive island, that you can go to. By the way, I'll do another video where there's more to do in Fiji than just the main tourist hotspots, right? But basically, the international date line goes bang, right down through. It goes straight on through Fiji and straight on through Taveuni. So you can have your foot on one side of the date line and be in tomorrow, and you can have your foot on the other side and be in today. And I nearly just tripped over and fell down into the water. With this being said, Fiji does have one time zone. There's nothing that is out of the extraordinary where it's actually lived by that. Like, there is a place where you can do that, but Fiji kind of pushed the date line to the east just so they can have a unanimous time zone, which would be super confusing if you didn't have. So it's a smart thing by Fiji, and guess what? Fiji does what it wants, baby. And they're not the only country that does this anyway. You've got places like Kiribati that has like a weird zigzag that goes all the way around it, and they're actually the ones that celebrate the New Year first. Fiji's one of the first as well, and yeah, very interesting. Today, tomorrow. Number 3, traditional lovos. You can cook food here underground. You cook food here underground in what is called a lovo. Now, this is like a barbecue style where you get like coconut leaves and banana leaves, and you wrap up, and you've got your pork, you've got your chicken, you've got your lamb, you've got all this real beautiful stuff. It tastes amazing. It tastes amazing. But you put it in like a underground oven and burn it on up, baby. Heat it on up. Get that fire rocking, son. And I tell you what, the food is damn well tasty, and it's great for gatherings and whatnot. You're not going to see lovos made really just for your everyday dinner or your everyday lunch kind of deal. It's more for the gatherings and for the ceremonies. Basically, the lovos are cooked for the entire family gathering, where everything will come out at the exact same time. There's just food everywhere, son. There's food everywhere. It tastes amazing. Number 4, Fiji was actually developed and produced via volcanic activity. Yes, and there's actually still 4 active volcanoes now in Koro, Nambukwalevu, Taveuni, and Rotuma, which surprised me. My daughter's from Rotuma, right? I didn't even know this. I've been to Rotuma many times. I didn't know. It's an active volcano. It still lays quiet. It still lays dormant. Nothing expected to change, right? But a couple of them have actually erupted in this Holocene, and Holocene refers to like an 11,700 year period in this current geographical epoch. I got there in the end. Fiji actually 150 million years ago was created via this volcanic activity. Again though, don't stress, you're probably going to be sweet. I'm not going to guarantee you nothing. I'm not going to promise you anything, but you're probably going to be sweet. They do lie quiet and dormant. Next up here, one that confuses a lot of people. Guess what, Fijians? They're not Polynesians, man. Fiji usually gets lumped in like a thought wavelength of Samoa and Tonga. And Samoa and Tonga, they are in Polynesia. But Fiji is actually Melanesian. Now, if you don't really know what I'm referring to in regards to Polynesia, Melanesian, and the likes, basically it's like sub-regions of the Pacific, like little small sub-regions where Polynesia is basically your Samoa, your Tonga, your Cook Islands, even Hawaii is classified as Polynesia. And then you've got Melanesia, which is Fiji, Papua New Guinea, Vanuatu. I feel the Solomon Islands are also in there as well. And then you've also got one to the north, which is Micronesia, which is like Nauru, the Marshall Islands, Kiribati, and Palau. And a place that I've referred to a couple of times in this video already, Rotuma, they're actually a part of Fiji. So it is like an individualized place in Fiji that is Fiji, but they kind of consider themselves separate as well, but they're not. But they consider themselves separate, and they are separate in a lot of ways of the culture and just, you know, everyday life. But Rotuma is actually Polynesian descent. So even though they're in Fiji, they're from Polynesia, but the majority of Fiji is Melanesia. And here's a little side fact for you as well. So Fijians actually have not like direct descendants where you can say the whole population was originated from Papua New Guinea. They actually have a significant ancestry from Papua New Guinea because of the Lapita people, which was around the Papua New Guinea and Solomon Islands area. And if you look, and this is just me kind of assuming, right? But if you look at the map of where Melanesia is, you can see it kind of darts out to around Fiji and then kind of stops off before it gets out to Samoa, Tonga and whatnot. So it's quite interesting to think that Fiji shares significant ancestry with Papua New Guinea and the likes, right? Because of up in that area. And the Lapita people, a lot of Fijians will be very aware of who they are. Next up, we've got the original name for Fiji was actually Viti. Now, if you look at the mainland of Fiji, Viti Levu, Levu basically means great or big, and then Viti is the original name for Fiji. So it's basically saying Great Fiji. Now, the reason why the name Fiji actually came, it was changed actually due to someone Australians will know, Captain James Cook. He was in the area. He actually labelled them the Cannibal Islands at one point, but we'll speak about that in another video. We are going to be talking about the cannibalism back in the day. Another deeper story, the Tongan invaders, more so out towards the eastwards of Fiji and the influence there. But there were Tongan invaders, and when Captain James Cook came in the area, he actually asked these Tongan invaders what was the name of these islands. What was the name of this area? And they said Fisi. So their pronunciation of Viti was Fisi, and then the Englishman, Captain James Cook, heard Fiji. So it went from Viti to Fisi to Fiji. So a Tongan influence in regards to the name of Fiji, but it's basically just because the Englishman got it wrong. I always blame the English. Go in and ashes for once. I believe we're at number 6, is don't touch someone's head. When you're here, it is integral, it is critical that you do not touch someone's head, because in Fijian culture, the head is sacred. It's meant to represent your connection to heaven. And I would assume, and this is assumed, by touching the head, and Fijians, if you're watching this, please correct me if I'm wrong here, but I would assume that by touching the head, it is blocking off your connection to heaven, right? So when you come to Fiji, and this is even for little kids, specifically for chiefs of villages, men, definitely, even women, no one wants you to touch their head, because in Fiji, it's a disrespectful thing to do. For us Australians and for people overseas, it's more like a term of endearment, like patting someone on the head, even though that's kind of a weird thing to do anyway, to be completely honest with you. You don't really do that with kids. We'd never do that to another grown man, to be completely honest with you. But it's not really a bad thing at all. It's actually meant to represent a good thing in our culture, but in this culture, it's incredibly disrespectful. You just have no need to. I would stick away from it, the children and whatnot. Maybe Fijians might give you a bit of grace and understanding, but if you've watched this video, for love of everything that is mighty, do not touch the head. I think that was number 7. This is number 8. Raising of the eyebrows is actually acknowledgement. So a lot of people in Fiji won't actually even say anything in response to you. They will just go, that's yes. It's as simple as that. It's them acknowledging you. It's them acknowledging you and saying, yep, all good. Which I know you might find strange, but you get used to it. You really do. It's actually quite simple, to be fair. You know, say your daughter is doing her homework or your son's doing his homework, and you say, hey, you finished your homework? And then they'll reply with, that's it. It's a real simple way. It's quite lazy, but with that being said, it is a real simple way of saying yes without actually having to speak, and it's completely fine. That's just how it is here, right? Number 9, tucky, baby. Tucky. It's a great word here in Fiji. If you love to drink, you love to have fun, you love to party, tucky is a fantastic word that you'd like to hear. I like to hear it because it means another round, baby. Now, the original meaning of tucky is, you know, cheers, lifted up, as in the Yangona bowl. Now, Yangona is kava, which I'm sure you know about kava. But the kava bowl, where everyone sits around and you wait for your bowl, your turn effectively in a communal setting, and then you finish off the Yangona bowl, you finish off the kava bowl, you give it back, and then the tucky master, he'll do it, he'll fill it all up again, and he'll put it back to the next person, they'll do it, and it goes around. It's a very equal share. It's a really nice way of being able to get everybody a turn of drinking, and regardless of financial situations and regardless of anything, everyone's going to have the same amount, right? But you don't know how much you're drinking. That's a fun fact for you that you should keep in mind. Now, this actually translates into the alcohol culture too. So in Australia and in other places, we are very individualized when we are drinking. We will go down, we'll grab like a 6-pack for ourselves, we'll grab a few beers or a few drinks or whatever we're doing and just kind of have whatever we bought. But in Fiji, not everyone's in the financial situation. You know, sometimes you want to drink with people that just don't have money. You know, it's a really fair way of getting everybody involved and making sure people do not feel left out by drinking tucky style. Tucky style is when you'll have a glass and they'll fill it up about this much or this much, depending on how much they're drinking, whether that be Bounty rum or a carton of beer that everyone will put in, or some people will put in, and instead of drinking very individually, they'll do the same thing. They'll fill up that, give it to you, you scull it, give it back to the tucky master, they'll do the same thing for everybody. So everyone's drinking the same amount, it's a very equal share. But be careful how much you drink. Be careful how much you drink, because you don't know how much. When you've got one beer to yourself, you know you finished a beer. When you're drinking tucky, everyone's having the same amount. Don't actually know how much you've had to really come to terms with it in your brain. Final one here. Relaxing. Beautiful. Are you patient? You still waiting for me to say what I'm about to say? You can hear that, probably that wind in the camera, can't you? Okay, well, number 10, Fiji time. Fiji time is a real thing. It may be said jokingly, Fiji time is absolutely a real thing, and you have to get used to it. There is no two ways about it. If you ordered a taxi for this time, it probably ain't coming at that time. It just isn't. If you're living here, things that you expect in your own country to come in a week or 2 weeks might not come ever. Might come 6 months. You never know. You've got to really adjust to just living here and just being. Everything's slow paced. It's not big city life. You're coming here to get away from the big city life. So the only thing I would say Fiji time isn't a part of is the airport. Don't miss your flight. Don't be late for your flight. Everywhere else, whether it be boats, taxis, movie times, anything is always on Fiji time. I'm going to tell you right now, my friends, Rosie, I'm looking at you, Jethro, I'm definitely looking at you. We can organise a time to go drinking. Or let's start time to have fun. Jess coming from Suva, or shit, we're just going to their place to have a bit of a laugh. And we organise 8 o'clock. Now, I'll be there at 8 o'clock. I'll be there. I'll be there at 8 o'clock. They're not going to be ready until like 10, 11. And I'm not even joking. They'd be lucky at 10, 11. And it takes time to get used to. But whenever you set a time here, never expect that shit to be on time. Never expect things to go how you want it. You just have to live, man. Get away from the bang, 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 because when the first bang happens, it's probably when the third bang happens. You're not going to get the first bang when you want the first bang, you get it next year. But I think that's going to do us for today. I hope the wind hasn't really impacted it too much. Like I said, I actually filmed this video already completely, but I have to refilm the entire thing and put it up. But I appreciate you guys as usual. We post every single 2 days here on BKR Travel. I hope you guys are enjoying. Please comment below your thoughts on these crazy little facts. And if you have any ideas for what you want to know about Fiji, should do in the comment section. If I got something wrong, please let me know. I don't think I did though, but maybe, you know, I'm always open to hearing about it. And hit that like button if you haven't already. Appreciate you guys. Much love. Keep doing you. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.